Hi everyone, welcome back to Crochet Rocks. My name's Tracy, and in this tutorial I'm going to show you how to make this little Crochet Rocks Chubby Granny Coaster. Just perfect for your tea. See, I even got complete with a cup of tea to show you. So to do this, it's just a little scrap yarn project. I've got quite a few little scrap colours that left over from a blanket tutorial that I did recently, and so I figured I might as well make the most of them. So this is slightly different from the normal granny square. It's kind of chubbier, which is why I like it. So I'm going to start off with this green yarn. It's DK weight, so a 3 weight. It's just lots of leftovers from a recent project. So I'm using a 4.5 millimeter crochet hook, and I've got myself a pair of scissors. I have a darning needle in the bag and a cup of biscuit tea, which, as my regular subscribers know, is my new favourite. It's made by Yorkshire Tea. So if they ever hear me and want to send me copious amounts of biscuit tea, then please feel free, Yorkshire Tea. So here we go. I've got my hook and I'm going to make a slip knot. So you can do that in whichever way you normally do. And for this particular one, it starts with a centre ring, and I'm going to chain 4. So to do a chain, it's yarn over and pull through, yarn over, pull through. So we're doing the 4, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through. So we've got 4, and you can see the chains are these little V's here. So I'm just going to form a ring by slip stitching into the very first one. This is our knot and this is our first one. So I'm just going to push my hook through, yarn over and pull through both loops, and that has made a diddy little ring. You can just about see it there. So I'm going to chain 2, and this is going to get me to the right height for a UK treble crochet, and in the US that's a double crochet. So now with this particular one, because it's a chubby one, I'm going to do 4 in each side, or it's going to form our corners initially. So I'm going to yarn over and go into the center of this ring and yarn over and pull up a loop. It will make a little bit bigger as we go. Yarn over and pull through 2 of those, yarn over and pull through the other 2. So that's our UK treble crochet or US double, and we want a cluster of 4, and these 2 chain are going to count as 1, so we need 2 more. So we're just going to do that again. There's 1. I'll show you once more slowly. Yarn over into the center of the ring, and as you can see it's got bigger. Yarn over and pull up a loop, so we have 3 on our hook. Yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. So there we have what looked like 4. So now we're going to do 1 chain, and we're going to do another cluster of 4. So we're just going to do 4 of those UK trebles or US doubles. Normally a granny square cluster will be 3, but this one's going to be 4 because we want it to be just a little bit chubbier than normal. If you have to pull it over slightly to make that space bigger, just to get enough space to do the next 2, because we need 4 clusters altogether. This is our 3rd one. If I'm going too fast for you at any point, then by all means please just pause the video and go back a little bit to recap. So there is 1 cluster, the 2nd cluster and the 3rd one. Pull it over slightly. I've got my 1 chain to split them up, and I'm doing another 4 to form my last little cluster. And if there's not enough room for that last one, just pull it across a little bit, mind that tail out of the way, and do 1 chain to finish, and then we're going to slip stitch into the top of our first 2 chain. Here we are, these are the 2 chain, and this one's the top one. So we're going to insert our hook, yarn over, pull through, and pull through the loop that's on our hook. So we've now got our circle complete. So now I'm going to end off with this yarn, and it doesn't matter too much about the fact that there's quite a lot of ends in this particular project. It's not very big, so you can either sew them in or you can work over them. So now that you'll have this center will be a cluster of 4 separated by chains. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to do the next part, which is forming these corners. So my next colour being the blue, I'm just going to get some yarn out for this. And we're going to join it at any of our gaps. I'm not going to join it here because I don't want too many ends. I'm just going to get rid of that one because I worked over that yarn corner, so that's end, sorry, so it just gets it out of the way. So I'm going to join it here in any of our gaps, and I'm going to leave a nice long tail and join by just chaining using my working yarn and the tail end like that, pulling it tight so it's cinched down. So now we're going to do our corner, which will be 2 chain. So we do, there we are, pull that one down, so that might look a little fat, but it doesn't matter because it's a chubby one after all. So we're going to yarn over into that gap, yarn over and pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, pull through 2, just the same as we did here. And what we're going to do for our corner is that we're going to do a cluster of 4 separated by 2 chain and another cluster of 4. So that will be our corner, and we're going to do it all in this gap. I need to just wipe my hook again because it's very warm in here, so it keeps getting a little bit sticky. So that's our third one, because our 2 initial chain count as one of our stitches. So there's our 4, pull it over, and you can do either 1 chain or 2. I'm going to do 2, and I'm going to do another 4. Okay, so that's our last. And then in our next one, we're going to make another corner. Just pull out some more yarn. So that is 4 UK trebles. Two chain and another 4. If you have to pull it over to make a bit more space, that's fine. There we go. And again 4. Actually, I'm going to work over that yarn, that tail, because I can pull it over this side like that and just work over it, and then that will help me get rid of it. So I'll just pull it down and work over that tail. So I'm going to do my 4, my 2 chain, taking my hook with me, put out some more yarn, and my other 4. Pull them over slightly. It has this lovely kind of chubbiness about it because there's 4. It's just making it a little more bulky, and I kind of I really like it rather than just the 3. The last one, 2 chain, keeps pulling out because of the camera angle. Put it over, and last 4. And then we're going to join with a slip stitch into the top of our 2 chains. So that's this stitch here, And you can, if you want to, go into those 2 stitches like that, or just, it doesn't matter because it's such a kind of a bulky project, you won't notice. So now I'm in there, I'm going to, oh, I think I need a new pair of scissors, and just end off this colour the same way of pulling it down. So there we go. I can, just because it's just a little scrap yarn project, I'm going to cut these off so that they're not in the way. I've worked over them a little way and they're not confusing. So I'm going to use this peach colour. Just going to pause the video while I get rid of the other ball because I don't want it to tangle. Okay, so here we are. I've got my peach colour. Pull out some yarn. And this row is a little bit different. I'm going to join at a corner again. So I'm going to choose one over here where the tail isn't, and join it in the same way. You can join it any way you like. You don't have to follow my way. But I just go over with both, pull it tight, and do my 2 chain, and complete my corner exactly the same. So I'm going to do 3 more UK treble crochets, and I'm going to do 1 chain this time because I'm going to end the next round. If you wanted to, you could keep going, but I'm just making this, sorry if I'm going off the camera, this little coaster. Do 1 more in there. There we go. So now I'm going to do a V-stitch in this gap here at the side, because obviously we can't just leapfrog all the way over here, it would pull. So we need something in here. Now you could do a cluster, but I just thought it looked pretty to do a V-stitch. So that's 1 treble, 1 chain, and 1 more UK treble into the gap, and it makes this little V. And then we're going to do our corner, the same as before. 4 UK trebles. If I go too fast for you, 1 chain this time. If I go too fast, just pause it. And 4 more in the corner, exactly the same as before. I'll just show you what that looks like. So what we've done now is we've got a corner, we've got a V-stitch in the middle, and we've got a corner, and we're going to do that all the way round. Now this next bit, you can't really work over the yarn because unfortunately you're just doing a V-stitch, so that might be one to sew in. I'm going to pop it that way just so it gets it out of the way. So I'm going to do my V. So that's 1 treble crochet in there, chain, and 1 more treble crochet into the same gap, and then my corner, exactly the same as before. And as I said, if you want to carry on doing more and more rows, then just do your 2 chain in the corner. Oh, I'm so used to doing a granny square of 3, I nearly made a mistake. So I've got my 4, my 1 chain, and my 4. And as I say, the only reason I'm doing the 1 chain is because I'm doing this as my last round, so I don't really want too big a gap in the corners. But you can do however many rounds as you would like, but I'm only making a little coaster. So that's actually quite tight, so I'm going to pull that across a little bit to get my last one in. And now into my V. Back to my last corner. Of course, you can use any scraps or any colour scheme that you want, if you've got a specific colour scheme that you want your coasters to be. And if you want to use a different weight yarn, then just use a different corresponding weight of, or size should I say, of crochet hook. So if you're using a 4 weight, then you might need to up it to a 5 or a 5.5 depending on the thickness, because obviously just as DKs come up variable thicknesses, so do any yarns really. So our last V, And then we're just going to slip stitch into the second one of our 2 chains that started, as we have done every round. Completes our little square. Get rid of that yarn and end that off just the same as before, and that's how it looks now. So if you wanted to carry on, and in the next round if you wanted to put a little cluster of 4 in there, that might look effective, and then just do these and 4s. But I'm just going to get this ball of peach colour out the way because I don't want it to tangle up with my white. So I'm going to do a white border on this one and have a quick bit more tea. I do love that stuff. Okay, so I think I've got enough yarn. So I'm just going to join it at a corner. Doesn't matter which. And if you wanted to join your yarn like this, you can, just by going in, doing a little knot like that, and then you can just insert and pull up a loop. So there's other ways that you can do it. So what I'm going to do, I've done 1 chain to get me on the right path, and I'm going to, in my corner, I'm just going to do 3 UK double crochets, which in the US is a single. So that's my second one, and that's my third one. I'm going over my tail because I can on this round. Now making sure I go in every stitch, so I pull this one slightly aside, go into that. I'm going to work over the tail, as I said. Less sewing in the better. And I'm just going to do that in every stitch along the edge. So that's just a normal double crochet UK or single crochet US. And when I get to this part here, I'm going to do 3 because I'm just going to break that up nicely just as we do our corner. And then into every stitch to the corner. And then in our corner, I'm going to do 3. And I'm going to do exactly the same along this edge as I did along here. So 1 in each of our stitches, 3 in our little V stitch, and then 3 in the corners. Just carry on, so make sure you go in every one again. I'm going to pause the video and I'll meet up with you when I get to this point. Okay, so I've made it all the way around and I've got 1 more to do, and then I just slip stitch into the start, same as before, snip off and end off in exactly the same way as before, and I can get rid of this tail which I've worked over and this one, and all I need to do now is to perhaps like sew this one in because I didn't get to work over it very much, and this one, so you can either make something with your little squares or use them as coasters just like this one. So thanks so much for watching. If you haven't already, please hit the subscribe button and the notification bell, and you'll be informed when there are new videos and tutorials, giveaways, of which there are quite a few going on at the moment. So have a look at that. Thank you very much for watching, and bye for now everyone.